Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. In this video, I'm going to talk about why the contents of the book of Revelation have not had a start of fulfillment yet. Now, this is important because if the timeline is wrong, then everything that one reads and sees, say in a video, from other individuals who are talking about this topic is going to be wrong. And I'm going to show you something. This is for your consideration. I'm not looking for agreement. I'm simply asking for one's consideration. Now, there are many persons who have very strong opinions as to the contents of the book of Revelation. I'm sure many of you have seen the videos about the beast and Babylon the Great, and that these things are now, that they're occurring now or will soon occur within, say, a few years from now. I'm telling you that this is absolutely incorrect. I'm not here to slam any individuals who believe otherwise, but I do believe that what has been taught about the book of Revelation has been wrong, and it has been wrong for a very, very long time. And again, I must emphasize here, if the timelines, those old traditional timelines, are wrong, then we've been looking in the wrong place. We've been, like the Indiana Jones movie, we've been digging in the wrong place. So let me share this with you, and the best place to begin is here at Revelation chapter 1, verse 1 and 2. And notice what the Apostle John writes here. The revelation from Jesus Christ, which God gave him, to show his servants what must soon take place. Now, what must soon take place is what I'm highlighting here. He has made it known by sending his angel to his servant John, who testifies to everything he saw, that is, the word of God and the testimony of Jesus Christ. The first thing to notice here is who is the author of the revelation. It's from God. It reads, the revelation from Jesus Christ, but who gave it to Jesus? Which God gave him to show his servants what must soon take place. Now, what must soon take place after what? The Apostle John wrote down the revelation in and around the year 96 CE when he was imprisoned on the Greek island of Patmos. And that was almost 2,000 years ago. So how can to show his servants what must soon take place have any application to our time period today? So this must be referring to some future time period, and I'm going to show you what that time period will be. And he made it known by sending his angels. Who's that he there? That's Jesus. Jesus made the revelation that his Father gave him, and he made it known by sending his angel to his servant John. And so John, under angelic direction, was told to write down the things that he saw here. So if the timeline is wrong, that means then that there's no 7 churches, there's no 7 seals open, that there's no 144,000, there's no great multitude, there are no 7 trumpet blasts, there are no 2 witnesses, there's no great sign seen in heaven there in Revelation chapter 12. Also in Revelation chapter 12, that war that breaks out in heaven has not occurred yet between Michael and his angels against the dragon and his angels. You see, that war that occurs in heaven in future days will not be seen or heard by anyone here on earth. Why? Because it occurs in heaven. And that war that will occur in heaven, it's not a war like we would envision a war to be. You see, in our minds as humans, we envision wars using swords and bombs and guns and planes and all that. These are angels. Michael and his angels will battle against the dragon and his angels. They don't use physical and carnal weapons, and this war is not that type of a war. This war concerns the devil and his angels losing their place in heaven. And I'm going to show you that here in a few moments. So since that war hasn't occurred yet, Satan and his angels have not been cast down to the earth yet. Meaning what? That Satan and his angels still have full access to heaven. And we see that war mentioned here at Revelation chapter 12. And we come down here to verse 7, we're told here that then war broke out in heaven. See, it breaks out in heaven, not on earth. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon and his angels fought back. But he was not strong enough, and check this part out, and they, that's Satan and his angels, lost their place in heaven. So that future war that will break out in heaven concerns Satan and his angels losing their place in heaven. And then at verse 9, we see that the great dragon was hurled down, that ancient serpent called the devil, or Satan, who leads the whole world astray. He was hurled down to the earth, and his angels with him. So all this is still yet future. Jump over to Revelation chapter 13. It's important to understand that the book of Revelation doesn't always flow chronologically. It starts off giving a synopsis of events that will lead up to the last day. That's when God's kingdom comes down to the earth. And then after it gives that synopsis, then it goes into more details about the things that were previously spoken about. Now, I would love to do a video series on the entire book of Revelation, but those videos would be very lengthy, or I'll have to chop them up in very bite-sized chunks, or I could write a book about it. Now, I do have a series running on the eprophetic.com website. I'm up to chapter 11 at present. One could go there and get a jump start on a lot of this. Now here at Revelation chapter 13, we see two beasts I mentioned here. One beast comes up out of the sea. Now this sea is the sea of mankind, and I'll discuss this in another video. But this beast comes up out of the sea, and it has 10 horns and 7 heads and 10 crowns on its horns, and on each head a blasphemous name. Now this beast has not arrived yet. This beast will not come on the scene until after that war occurs in heaven, and Satan is cast down to the earth, and then he is abyssed for 1,000 years. So 1,000 years must pass over the earth while Satan's in prison. When he's released, then he brings this up with him. He brings up this beast, and he establishes this beast on the earth. So what is this beast? Well, we're told what this beast is. If one comes down to verse 2 here, the beast I saw resembled a leopard, but had feet like those of a bear, and a mouth like that of a lion. Before I reveal to you what this beast will be, it's important to note that leopards and bears do not live in water. So this is symbolic of something. It's right here at the latter part of verse 2 that we're given the hint as to what the beast will be. The dragon gave the beast his power and his throne and great authority. Did you see that? The dragon gave the beast his power and his throne. The beast will be a kingdom, one kingdom encompassing the entire earth in future days. All of the existing kingdoms are here right now will be a thing of the past. They'll be long gone. More than 1,000 years destroyed. And the way the timeline runs is that when Jesus takes his kingdom of 1,000 years over the earth, which has not occurred yet, that must run its course of 1,000 years. And during that 1,000-year interim, Satan is in prison. He's locked up for 1,000 years, the exact same duration of Christ's 1,000-year kingdom. When Christ's 1,000-year kingdom ends, and read about that at Revelation chapter 20, verse 7. When 1,000 years are over, Satan will be released from his prison. Okay? So when that 1,000-year kingdom of Christ ends, Satan's released. When he's released, he establishes this kingdom over the earth. So the beast will be a kingdom over the earth. It will have great power from the dragon. It fuels it. It will have his throne. And it will have great authority over all of the inhabitants of the earth. That's why we see over here at Revelation chapter 20, verse 7, we're told that once Satan is released from his prison, after Christ's 1,000-year kingdom ends, he will go out to deceive the nations in the four corners of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them for battle. This is not a physical war used with physical weapons. Now, it's interesting to note here that Gog and Magog, and I'll talk about that in another video, who these are, who Gog and Magog are. But notice the numbers of Gog and Magog. In number, they're like the sand on the seashore. We can't count their numbers. Their numbers are so great. But Gog and Magog, these are people, because Satan goes out to deceive them. All right? Going back to Revelation chapter 13, this beast will be a kingdom that will reside over the earth. This has not occurred yet. So if you see videos coming out or individuals giving talks and sermons about this as if the beast is now, you're going to be misled. The contents of the book of Revelation, none of it has had a start of fulfillment yet. So there is no beast out of the sea. Now, one drops down to verse 11. We see another beast coming up out of the earth. And it had 2 horns like a lamb, but it spoke as a dragon. This is a composite false prophet. This will be Satan's visible representatives. These are human representatives on earth, men who will be well respected among the masses. They'll be well known because these men will have previously served as kings and priests with Christ during his 1,000-year kingdom. These men will be enlisted into service of the beast, and the people will know them. They will love these men. And notice here at verse 12 that this second beast exercised all the authority of the first beast on what? On its behalf. So these human representatives, they will spew out propaganda, and they will make the earth and its inhabitants worship the first beast whose fatal wound had been healed. And I'll talk about what that fatal wound is in another video. There's a lot to cover. But this second beast that comes out of the earth will be very influential, and they will be the visible proxies. They will be the persons that people see. See, Satan the devil hides invisibly, but these individuals will be visible representatives of the beast, making up a composite false prophet. And again, none of this has occurred yet. So there's no image of the beast, there's no mark of the beast, there's no 666. And when it comes to 666, be very careful, because I see a lot of individuals out there associating who they call Antichrist as being some individual, singular, all-powerful demon seed person who's going to come on the scene, and they're associating that with 666. There's no association with that and 666. Antichrist is never mentioned in the book of Revelation. That's another false narrative that Christianity has been spinning for a very long time, along with the many other false narratives that it has been spewing out. Christianity, in my view, I'm 100% convinced of this, is not interested in the truth. Christianity is interested in Christianity and maintaining those long-standing false narratives. And I've mentioned those before in previous videos. Eternal torment in a fiery hellfire, once saved, always saved, the Trinity, going to heaven, the rapture, and many, many others. That's what Christianity is interested in maintaining. And when it comes to the book of Revelation, Christianity will continue to spin those very same false narratives. I'm sure you guys have heard these false narratives that individuals will receive a computer chip implanted in their right hand or in their forehead. This is not true. In those future days, the technology that we have today, excuse me, will not exist in those future days. All the stuff that we see today will be completely destroyed. None of those things will exist in future days. The mark upon individuals will not be some visible mark. Satan is not that stupid to place a visible mark on someone. No. Again, these are all false narratives. That mark will be some act, whether it's a person performing some particular act or signing something or something that they might say that will indicate that they are marked, that they support, that they worship the beast in its image. And again, none of these things have occurred yet. I'm going to create some videos to identify what the image of the beast is, what 666 is, and all of that. There's been no declaration of the eternal gospel mentioned there in Revelation chapter 14. There's been no harvesting of the earth. What is this harvest that we read about in the Bible and even in Revelation? That's the resurrection from the dead. When a person dies, they're buried like a seed. The harvesting of that seed is the resurrection. That's what that is. There are no 7 last plagues. They have not occurred yet. In fact, if one goes to Revelation chapter 15, they'll read there that those 7 last plagues are presented as a great sign in heaven, a great and marvelous sign in heaven, not here on earth. There are no 7 bowls of wrath poured out onto the earth yet. There's no intoxicated Babylon the Great who rides upon a scarlet-colored wild beast. And that scarlet-colored wild beast has 7 heads, it has 10 horns, but upon its horns there aren't any crowns. So what we're seeing there at Revelation chapter 17 is the exact same beast that we see here coming up out of the sea. It also has 7 heads, 10 horns, and it has crowns upon its horns. However, the beast that we see there at Revelation chapter 17 with this drunk woman, Babylon the Great, sitting on top, it's different. We're just seeing it at another time period in the time stream. That the beast that we see there in Revelation chapter 17 does not have 10 crowns upon its horns means that it has lost its authority, and that its red shows that it has now become drunk with blood. See, it's changed its colors. In the beginning, we see it here at Revelation chapter 13. People are going to love it. In fact, right down here at verse 4, we read here that people worship the dragon because he had given authority to the beast. And they also worship the beast and ask who is like the beast and who can wage war against it. So the people will adore the beast that comes out of the sea, and they will view it as being invincible. Let me take you to Revelation chapter 17. So here at Revelation chapter 17, we see this woman. If we drop down to verse 3, we see here, there I saw a woman sitting on a scarlet beast that was covered with blasphemous names, and it had 7 heads and 10 horns. Notice on the horns, there aren't any crowns. So we're seeing the beast that comes out of the sea at Revelation chapter 13 at a future time period. It has become drunk with blood. It's killing God's faithful people on the earth in those future days. And she has a name, Babylon the Great. Now, she has not arrived yet. And we see down here at verse 6, I saw that the woman was drunk with the blood of God's holy people, the blood of those who bore testimony to who? To Jesus. All this occurs during the future Great Tribulation. The Great Tribulation occurs after Christ's 1,000-year kingdom has run its course and ended, and then Satan is released from his prison of 1,000 years. He brings up with him and establishes on the earth his kingdom of the beast with his false prophet human proxies in front of it, promoting it and getting people to build an image to the beast. And then it's going to go on. We don't know for how long. It could be hundreds of years. But then something's going to happen. There's going to be a declaration from an angel. Read about this at Revelation chapter 14, verse 6. That's going to shake the kingdom of the beast. And it's going to shake many people to sobriety. And they are going to realize that they had been deceived. They're going to wake up and they're going to turn against this beast here. We see at Revelation chapter 17. And we see down here at the very bottom of this chapter, we're told that this woman sits upon many waters. And we're told here by John who these waters are. The waters you saw where the prostitute sits are people, multitudes, nations, and languages. So we're even told who this woman sits on top of. Sitting on top means she controls. She's in control. That she sits on top of that beast. She controls it. She's one of the heads on that beast. And each head does not exist simultaneously. They exist at different points in time in the future during the tenure of that beast. And I'll go into more detail about that in other videos. But the point here is that none of this has occurred yet. I cannot overemphasize this. Be careful when you hear individuals talk about the things within Revelation as occurring now. No. And to continue, there are no 10 kings. Revelation speaks of 10 kings. There are no kings of the earth. They have not arrived yet. There's been no abyssing of Satan of 1,000 years because that war in heaven has not occurred yet. There's no Armageddon. There's no great tribulation. The coming down of God's kingdom is still yet future. And two key scriptures that one should pay attention to is Revelation chapter 1, verses 1 through 2, where we're told here that this revelation that Jesus received from his Father to show his servants what must soon take place, wanting to tie it into when. When does this occur? When does this soon take place? Right here. Revelation chapter 20, verse 7 and 8. When the 1,000 years are over, Satan will be released from his prison and will go out to deceive the nations in the four corners of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them for battle. This is when all of the contents of the book of Revelation will have a start of fulfillment. When the 1,000 years are over. That's what we're being told. What will soon take place. When? After the 1,000 years are over. So that Christ 1,000 year kingdom has not begun yet. If it hasn't begun, then that means it hasn't ended. So the contents of the book of Revelation and everything that's written in it is still at least 1,000 years yet into the future. I'm convinced of this. I've seen in my lifetime I've read many books, I've seen many videos, I've listened to many sermons of individuals trying to squeeze the contents of the book of Revelation into our present time period. It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. And eventually, what those persons wrote in books, in articles, put in videos, have all fallen flat on their face. Any persons today who attempt to do the same thing is all going to fail. It's going to fall flat on its face. And then what those individuals will do, they'll come up and do another video, forgetting about the previous videos that they got wrong. What I'm saying here, and I believe that I'm 100% correct with this, is that the contents of the book of Revelation only has application here. When Christ's future 1,000 year kingdom ends and then Satan's released from his prison. That's when things get interesting. But that's what I have for you today. Please understand that the contents of the book of Revelation have not had a start of fulfillment. If you move forward believing that they have, then you've already been deceived and misled. This is R. Jerome Harris, the disciple. Thank you for listening.